Hi guys, Slime here. With a new video. Um, so I guess a little disclaimer or slash warning if you're like a family member watching this and you don't want to hear me talk about sex or sexy time. I suggest you click off now. All right. So today's rant is going to be about biphobic people. Emphasis more on women who are biphobic. Which, if I could start off, there's nothing that annoys me more than another minority taking a huge fat dump on another minority. Because I recently had these TikToks show up on my page, and I don't want to, like, give them any, like, um, clout or, like, any hate. So I'm not gonna, like, play the videos for you. I'm sorry, someone's driving past here in a second. And yeah, so I would play the videos for you guys, but I just think that would be stupid because I don't want to give those people any clout. Oh my gosh, there's more people coming through. 1 second, I'm sorry. Ugh. Sorry, I like filming things outside, but like, not everything's like private, so, um, Anyway, so I don't like it when other minorities take huge jumps on other minorities. And let me be clear, I was watching this video from TikTok, and this woman was like, I don't date men who are bi, and she was like doing the stitch to another dude's video. And she's like, you're a man or woman or whatever. Like, I don't get like, and so she just had like her own like random transphobia, and she's like, not that I don't think you're masculine, which is like, then she's like, oh, because I guess the guy alluded to like, oh, because we could twerk better. She's like, yeah, I want to see you twerking the cub better than me. That's just something that doesn't turn me on. And then she ended it like, this world is so worried about like seeking validation from others for who they won't date because of preference. Your preference doesn't make sense. Let me explain. I'm a dude who likes dudes. I've been with straight guys, bi-curious guys, bi guys, like just gay dudes, feminine gay dudes, masculine gay dudes, like the whole spectrum of like dude, right? Do you like dudes? Yes, then I like you. That simple. Like, so the idea that you wouldn't pass off this obvious, like, just say you hate fags, girl, because everyone in this comments was just like seething with like homophobia. Like one of the, oh, and not to mention this woman literally made a fake apology like afterwards, which is giving me very like I'm an edgy teenage white boy energy, and this woman's full grown, so it just kind of looks pathetic on her part. And the reason why your preference just makes sense is like, oh, are they a dude? Yeah, okay, you like dudes. Do they like women? Yes. So what's the problem? It's because you don't like gay people. I'm sorry, you can't convince me it's anything else but that because your preference doesn't make sense. And on top of that, white boys, rightfully so, get in so much trouble for like talking about how they don't like to date black girls, or it's usually something along that line. And you can make a greater case for not wanting to date a race off of preference. Let me finish. Like, that sounds bad, but um let's say you're not attracted to a race, because all races have similar facial structure and facial features. They don't obviously all look alike. Like, for every like for every 50 hillbillies that live where I'm at, like there's one of me. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Like, you can find varieties and variants in everyone. So if you're not wanting to date someone because of their skin tone, that is racist. If you're not wanting to date someone because of stereotypes you have in your mind of that race, that is racist. But I don't think not wanting to date someone because there's similar facial structures, I don't think that's racist. But I would counteract That's not what I believe. But I would counteract that by saying, like, maybe go on a face-to-face basis, because, like, obviously all races don't look alike, if that made any sense. But, like, people would rightfully so get chewed out because it just comes off racist. But, like I'm saying, you can might make a better argument for that versus the biphobic thing, because it's like they like girls and you like dudes who like girls. Like, who cares who they're banging on the free time? And no, purely off of my Grindr experience, if they don't have like a chick who's down with them being bi, they're probably just gonna cheat. Like, they'll just keep it a secret because they know you're biphobic, and they'll probably just cheat on you with dudes. Like, I don't agree with cheating. I think you should be open, and I think if you want to be faithful, be faithful. If you want to have an open relationship, have an open relationship. It doesn't affect me. I'm not saying that I would suggest that for everyone, but I would say it doesn't affect me. But the fact that, like, these people act like it's just a preference when it's obviously rooted in homophobia, just like I would assume that kid wants to proudly talk about how they don't want to date black women, I would assume that's kind of based on racism. Like, unless you give the reason I gave, which is like based off of like similar facial structure that all races share, then I would just assume you're racist. So I don't get the, and like, because all these people are commenting, like, if someone came after you for like something that you couldn't control, you'd be upset. So why is it just like okay to like dump on bi dudes? Like, and then like in the comments, one of them is like, oh, like you can get the LGBT, the alphabet mafia. Oh my gosh, the alphabet mafia is gonna come and get you. What? Okay, like, alright. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I can't stand people who just don't say, like, I hate certain things with their chest. Like, just say you hate fags. Just say you hate gay people. Just say you don't think bi men are masculine enough. Just say you don't think, like, just say you think it's gross that they bang dudes. Like, I had something in this conversation with my best friend, and we're talking about how, like, everyone because we used to work together, like, would say all this mean stuff about me, talk about me behind my back, but then, like, obviously my best friend told me, because they were well liked and I wasn't, so they told me everything. Does he not like us? And it's like, yeah, he doesn't like you because you talk bad about him. And it just blows my mind that, like, people can act this way and then be curious of why, like, we think you're cowards. Because you're a coward. Because it's like, you obviously don't like me. So just say over your chest you don't like me. So when you pull this, like, it's a preference thing, when your preference isn't based on logic or reason, and it just comes off as homophobia. Because, like, I've been with straight dudes, and you're going to be like, well, how do you be with straight dudes? Let me finish. If a college girl, like, hooked up with another woman, let's say 3 times, and then went on to marry a dude and have children, and is like 30 and never made out or did anything with a girl again, no one would not assume she's straight. They'd be just like, yeah, she was curious, and she just had a moment, and now she's back on the D train. But when, like, dudes, like, I've hooked up with dudes, I don't ever think they're gonna go back to dudes, and they're probably gonna have a wife and family, and just keep up a secret between me, them, and God. Like, that's their deal, whatever, I don't care. So, I just don't get this whole preference thing when it comes to bi dudes. And all these women, like, hyping her up in comments. Oh, and then I saw another video talking about, oh, you're trying to make us forced to, like, bi dudes? That's predatory. I think we're using the word predatory a little liberal here. We're just calling you out on your garbage behavior and your bad logic and reasoning. Because you can't even defend it. Because it's like, if the dude likes girls and dudes, but likes you, why does it matter? Like, it'd be like someone being like, oh, you like dating trans women and me? I don't think we can be together. It's like, so you just don't think trans women are women, and you just think they're dudes? Like, you're transphobic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense because me liking dudes, and then, like, I've hooked up with women before, doesn't make me like dudes any less. Like, I just hooked up with women because I like women too sometimes, and it's not that big of a deal. So I just can't stand, like, someone being, like, outwardly offensive, especially with that, like, fake apology. Like, this is what I'm talking about, like, edgy white boy energy. Because whenever a white boy does that on the app, we're like, I don't like this type of person. Because they'll do it with, like, anyone, right? And, like, you know, chubby girls, Latinos, blacks, like, it's just cringe because it's like sometimes we just need to keep our preferences right here, right in the heart. No one needs to know. That's the thing. No one needs to know. So when you make this kind of stuff, I think you're a thirst bucket because you just want outrage and you want attention and you just want people to stare at you and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they said that. Or like you want people to hype you up in the comments, be like, that's what I'm thinking. Like today, people are too PC. Like we can't even speak our mind or talk about like preferences or what we like. It's like, no, it's just like some things don't need to be said. Like, I don't care if you don't want to hook up with bi men. I don't care if you want to like hook up with chubby girls. I don't care if you want to hook up with like black women. I don't care if you want to hook up with like Latino women. I don't care. But like when you make it everyone else's problem by spreading this kind of blatant like hatred. It is hatred. Like obviously not like hatred like get your pitchforks, but it's like covert hatred. And that's what gets me upset. It's when you can't be like loud and abrasive with your opinion. Especially when you're like hating on someone. It's like, well, just say it with your chest. Like, that's truly how you believe. Like, I don't hate people, and I don't hate like anyone who's different from me. But if I dislike people who've done stuff to me, and they come up and like, do you dislike me? It's like, yeah, and here's the reason why. Like, I've told everyone else why I don't like you. You can know it too. Like, I just don't like it, and it just annoys me and pisses me off because it still just creates a stigma, and you're stuck in the past. And if you don't like bi dudes, like, why are you trying to like? Because you know it ultimately hurts the movement for minorities. Because like bi men are real and exist, like, and if they're just not gonna be open about it, it just leads to people penting that stuff up, and then leads them to acting out in ways that they shouldn't have to act out in. Like, so you're part of the problem if you're one of these people who's just like, it's just my preference, it's just my preference. It's like, you know, how about this? Like, instead of making like, this is what I don't like, just make like videos about like what you do like. Like, if you like 6'4", like muscular men, I mean, just post about that. But don't be like, oh, I hate these 5'2" cringe, like short men and like gross. And it's like, no one needs to hear that. Like, I just think that's inappropriate and just kind of gross. And I just think like you have issues. So for all those biphobic women, you're cringe posting. Um, and you probably should stop because it doesn't make you look good. And also, like, yeah, it's good. No one wants to date you either. Like, I'm sorry, but if I found out like my partner was any sort of like racist or like misogynist or like anything like that, I wouldn't want to be with them. Like, and if I felt it was something like, because I've had friends in the past. I have lots of friends. I'm friends with whoever's friends with me. I've had people that are like anti-gay, anti-trans, like racist. Not like full-blown racist, but I can. There's a difference between someone who's like accepted that they're racist and loves it and empowers it, and someone who has outdated ideas implanted in them by their parents, their culture, or their environment. And my policy has been like, if you're like that, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt only because I believe you can change. And I've had a friend who was racist, and they ended up changing, and they actually like said like, oh well, because you're just so open and you love everyone, like, you know, it really made me rethink, because I knew this person wasn't racist because they like hate people. They're a very loving person. I knew it was kind of like the environment kind of thing, especially where I grew up. So I gave them a chance, and they changed. But I've had people who are like, you know, I don't agree with the gay thing, and they're still my friend. Like, I still love them. So, I don't know. I guess I would maybe do that with a partner. I don't know. It's like, if you're with someone, you kind of see them a lot, and that would get on my nerves, and I wouldn't really like that. But like I said, I'd probably like tell them to go to therapy, but if they didn't change, I'd probably break up with them. But I don't know. That's a complex thing to think about. But like I said, there's nothing wrong with having preferences, but make your preferences make sense. And if it's like putting down someone else, maybe just don't say it. Like, no one needs to know. Like, you're not like making friends over like stuff you hate. That's kind of cringe. Like, oh, I can't stand bi dudes because they're a little. That's cringe. Like, what? Like, alright. And same thing with those white dudes. Like, black women? No, thank you. It's like gross, cringe. Like, yeah. So if everyone can TikTok to stop being cringe, that'd be great. Alright, well, that's the end of my biphobic rant. I love you guys. Stay blessed. God loves you. Jesus loves you. I love you. Slime out. Mwah!